Hello and welcome back to the Orlando Adventures podcast. I'm your host, Russ, and this week I am delighted to be joined by two more wonderful guests. We've got Perry and Charlie from the Hamilton family. Welcome to the podcast.
Cheers, thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us. Really
My pleasure. Genuinely, I just said before we came on, like it is my pleasure because I've watched your channel, like obviously, and I'm enjoying it a lot. I'm enjoying seeing your latest trip, so I'm all for it.
Yes. Thanks for watching.
Yeah. No, honestly, my pleasure. So, with regards to kind of like your social media, your YouTube, where did it all start then? What kind of got you into doing social media content then?
I'm not really sure, to be honest. We've always watched sort of vloggers on YouTube, more for sort of the US side, so more like PC Dev, Tim Tracker, Mr. Morrow, those sort of ones. And I think after COVID, we saw, I don't know, it's just been COVID really, wasn't it? It was just like
everything changed from COVID.
Yeah.
Like social media and like Facebook, just everything just took off social media after COVID, didn't it?
Yeah,
Everyone
it did.
was, like, on Instagram and so it was just like it just went big, really, didn't it?
Yeah, we just and then we had our trip booked for May 2022,
Yeah.
and I kind of just was like, let's just pick up the camera and let's just try it. You wasn't really on board, really, was you?
No,
From the
I
start,
was
sort
not
of thing.
at all. I was like, no way am I getting that camera. I was like, I'm not talking. And if you probably look back at our May 2022 videos, I don't think I hardly put my face on the camera.
You
It
wasn't,
was like, keep it off my face. Like, I don't want to talk because I'm really shy. And I was like, no.
Yeah, it was just from there, really. Just from that trip in May that we started sort of vlogging, and it sort of just gone on from there, really. Obviously, once we had done that, we'd created a sort of Instagram page and that sort of stuff, and we just grew it from there, really. To be honest,
we love chatting to people as well. So like, obviously, we love Orlando, and I feel like over the years, we've just obviously speaking to each other about Orlando, but like meeting so many people is like just really great. Just chatting to so many people, right?
Yeah,
like, just about our favourite place. So
yeah, I mean, it's amazing, isn't it? Like I know I say it's a lot, but this community of like everyone who loves Orlando and like everyone gets it. I know, like obviously we all talk to each other about it, but you try and talk to like people at your work or something like that, and no one gets it, do they? They're like,
they don't get it. That is so true. They don't understand the love for the place. Like they're
Yeah, it's like, oh, you're going back to the same place again. I'm like, like 100%, over and over. Yeah,
even our parents say it. Don't you want to go somewhere else? Not your like Charlie's nan and granddad. They're frequent travellers. They're the ones sort of we're beside us, really, isn't it?
Oh, amazing.
I think they're in their mid-70s now, right?
Yeah,
and they're going next month as well. But I think from my side, my family, they're like, oh, don't you want to go anywhere else? Try something else? It's just like, no, not really. And everyone always says, why do you always go back there? And I just always say there's just something for everyone there. Like you can, from my side, like the food. I like the food. Used to play golf. You like shopping. We like the rides. The kids are just happy there, right? They just love it. So it's just something for everyone there.
Yeah, I suppose also with the kids as well, like seeing it through their eyes, like surely is amazing, but also seeing it through their eyes as they grow up as well. So their experiences change because they can go on more stuff. Their likes kind of like change as well. So like, I bet it's like incredible, and also to catch that on video, like how like so cool that you can go back and watch it. Yeah,
and I think like when we going back to sort of why we started on that, like when we created our first YouTube video in May for that series in 2022, Teddy was still young, but then when we come back, he wanted to keep watching it, didn't he?
Watch us on TV. Like,
he just loved it.
Like, because obviously when you go on holiday, you do actually forget what you've actually done. Like, you remember the big memories, but all the little details you forget. So like when we started watching back, it was like, oh, we love watching this back. Like, it's really good. So that is another reason why we started that as well in the first place. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, amazing. Amazing. And I know, Charlie, you kind of touched on it, but like, how are you finding the vlogging? I know, like, you seem like come a long way. In terms of the confidence on it.
Yes, it's 100% giving me a confidence boost because, like, as I said in the first series, I didn't want to show my face. I'm not a camera person at all. Any pictures, I hate them. So like I've definitely over the years, especially I think probably this last year, I'd say like May, December time, I really kind of thought to myself, no, let's show my face more. People want to sort of see me more and like speak to me more. So I've definitely been like going on more Instagram lives and just showing my face. And I feel like when you get such good feedback from people, it makes you feel more confident.
Yeah,
That's definitely given me a confidence boost for sure. So
Yeah,
that's good.
I think like the vlogging side of things, like we've spoke to a few people about this sort of on Instagram and that, and in America, vlogging out there, I just don't care sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like I just don't think you're sort of judged out there sort of when you've got your phone, your video and that sort of stuff. Like we vlogged our UK trip to Legoland, wasn't it?
Yeah, Legoland.
And I just didn't get the same feeling sort of thing. I just didn't feel comfortable doing it in the UK.
We went in there, like, we went down this like alleyway, and like everyone was just like looking at us, and we was like, just felt really awkward.
Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable in the UK doing it. It's more like
we're a judgy bunch, though, aren't we? Like,
sure.
I don't like I think we get it, but like that kind of feeling of going into a park in the UK and everyone's looking at you.
Yeah.
Like anyone gets a camera out and you're like, everyone turns around and like, all right.
On, you know, like when we was just on our recent trip, we was in the Tower of Terror queue, and obviously it was a long line, and we was like Perry got the camera and just sort of vlogged and said like, oh, we're in the queue, it's like a 40-minute wait or something like that. And as we've looked behind us, there was a British family, and the woman put a bag?
Put something over her face.
She put a bag over her face or something, so she wasn't in the camera, just like standing like this with her family, and we're like, oh please, like no, a bit over the top.
Yeah, definitely. No, fair enough. Well, you know, ultimately it comes across that you're enjoying doing it, which is the main thing. And like I said, your videos are spot on. Like I think they're brilliant. And I say this a lot, but like you come across as a really genuine family, and like just happy to be in Orlando and just like want to relive your trips, and I love it. I mean, it's absolutely
we try and be sort of as natural as possible, to be honest. Like we go there for holidays, but we like to tell people what we're spending, that sort of stuff. We've had a lot of comments, like even people that see us out in Florida, they're like, oh, we love it that you include how much you're spending, like, and it just gives people that insight of how much you actually spend there, because you can go there and you can spend as much money as you want, right?
Absolutely.
But we wouldn't be able, if we went and done all the carrots and meats and like the breakfasts and meals, we wouldn't be able to go as often as we do. So by us doing it the way that we do our trips, sort of thing,
which is more like budget for everyone, because in Florida it's not a cheap holiday, like it's not a cheap place to go, so you need to kind of good to show people how much things are, especially if it's your first time. I can't imagine
it's a lot of unknowns, right?
Definitely. And then it's a bit of an unspoken thing sometimes, like sometimes not everyone wants to talk about the financials of going to Orlando, but realistically, like it's a huge factor. So like sometimes it's easier just to say it and be like, you know what, this is how much it costs to go to this place. And like we're all like, it's good information, let's be real. Like I'd rather know it. So absolutely spot on. I like that. I suppose in terms of your trips to Orlando, when was your first trip to Orlando as a family then? Was it the 22 trip? Or did you go like way before?
No, way before. I think like Paige has been a lot of times, like a lot. She first went when she was 10 months old. So our first trip was in 2013 as a family, like of 3. So 2013 was our first family trip when it was Paige. And obviously I'd been going since 1999 was my first trip. 10, and then Perry went in what year was
2007, my first trip. And then we've been a lot of times. I think I've been 20 times.
We're trying to work this out. On our hands, it was like, well, how many times have we actually been to Florida? Because we don't actually know. So last night we was like,
I think I've been 20 times. You've been 24 times.
24.
I think Paige has been maybe 15 times now. Amazing. And she's only 11 as well.
Nice. Oh, amazing.
Teddy is literally the worst. The reason why is because he has been brought up with Florida in such a way where obviously we've been quite a lot since he's been born, and he just feels like it's like his second home. Like he knows his way around. Like he's probably the worst out of all of us, I think, because he's so young, for sure. It's so funny.
Oh, it's fantastic. I love it though. I love it. And I suppose kind of going from that then, where do you typically stay on your trips then? Because have you been quite a few times? Have you got like a certain place you normally go back to for staying?
We usually, so we've changed it up a bit, to be honest. Like, so when we was with Paige, it was more sort of, it depends. If we go with people, then we probably look to sort of stay at a villa. Previously with Paige, when sort of we've had Teddy, we started staying at hotels. So we went to the Rosen Inn International. We wasn't sort of a massive fan of that, so we actually moved to the Rosen Shingle Creek while we was there, and we've actually stayed at that before as well.
We stayed at, like, I'd say in the beginning it was more hotel based. I'm talking like years ago, because that's how Orlando first grew was basically
Yeah,
hotels.
definitely.
But I feel like over the years, villas have taken over a lot. And I feel like we kind of, as the years went on, we just kind of started staying at villas more.
Yeah.
And then we did do a couple of odd hotel trips with Teddy, but then we kind of realised, no, I think the villa life is, for us as a family, it's just like better basically, just because like and we have stayed at Disney, haven't we, in Universal?
Yes,
they're good for like 7 nights or a few nights, but yeah, we usually tend to go to a villa.
I think the benefit of the villa for us is that, like, Teddy's still young, so he's 4, so it's, if he goes to bed earlier than us, we're not locked up in a room sort of thing.
No.
Not kind of on top of each other.
He can go in his room, we can watch TV, we can sit by the pool, and it's just better for us as a family.
And we like to stay at different villas as well. So and I actually have my own website now, like Primetime Villas, and we have managed to get quite a few villas on board with us, and like a lot of these villas we've actually stayed at, which I'm loving, because like we get a lot of people saying, oh, like, what villa have you stayed at this time? So like we've managed to get them on board as well, which is great. So we just try and stay at a different villa every time, right?
Yeah,
that's amazing. Amazing. What's your website all about then? Like, is it kind of a place for you to find different villas? What is?
It's like a villa rental. So like, obviously, if you want to go on holiday to Orlando, we've just got like a host of different villas on my website. But we are actually in contact, like the property management who run a bulk of them are amazing, and obviously some of them are obviously independent, but we speak to all the owners. So, and they're all lovely people. So like, it's just like, we just have a mixture of villas on there, whether they're small, big, all different sizes, and obviously in all great areas as well. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're thinking of going to Orlando soon in the future. Definitely, check it out.
We've been that much that we kind of feel like that's something we want to get into, sort of 100%. In sort of the villa rentals and that sort of stuff. We love helping people sort of with their trips,
find their trip,
And I think like when we've stayed there and we're vlogging it, like the villa that we had in May, which was St Andrews in the Shire, wasn't it?
Yeah,
West Haven. A lot of people sort of commented, oh, it looks lovely, and they're now going through the website, they're getting quotes, and I think they've had a few bookings as well through that. And even the one that we're staying at, that we stayed at just now, a lot of people have inquired about that now as well.
Yeah, for sure. And what I find as well is when you're going to Orlando, this is what I feel like over the years it's got like, it didn't used to be like this years ago, but I feel like there's so many people owning villas in Orlando, which is great. But I feel like if you're like a first time family going to Orlando, or even if you've been before, like, it is very daunting trying to find a villa that's like, 1, reliable, and 2, it is what it says it is, if that makes sense. Because you could just be booking off any site, which, you know, and it's not what you say. You hear these horror stories, right? Like, you know, you do it quite a few. So it's just nice that if people like know us, and then like they'll probably trust us a bit more, like we've, you know,
100%.
Sort of thing, like, and they are lovely. So
I mean, ultimately, obviously, you've been a lot of times, so like, there's a confidence that you're not going to recommend somewhere that's like not good. Like ultimately, if you've been there, you've stayed there, like, we could all have a confidence to go, you know what, these two clearly know what they're on about. They've been a lot of times. So like, I mean, it sounds absolutely spot on. So like 100%. I mean, I'll check out for sure, because it sounds like totally the kind of thing that everyone in this community like literally like needs to go and check out. 100%. Nice. Cool, love it. So I suppose getting on to kind of your last trip then. When was the last trip for everyone who maybe doesn't know?
So we went, what date was it? 8th of August we went, wasn't it?
We'll say the 8th. We flew on the 8th.
Our pre-travel day was the 7th. We always count that as our start of our holiday, but it
start the holiday day early.
That's it. 8th of August till the 26th of August. So we got back we left there on Bank Holiday Monday, so we got back on the 27th. But that was our most recent trip.
Fantastic. So obviously fairly fresh off of the back of that one. A good trip, no doubt.
Oh, very good. Yeah, really good. We had a bit more rain this time. We went this time, that same time last year. We did have a little bit more rain this time, I would say.
I'd say a bit more stormy this
time,
isn't it?
It's expected in the summer months, right? It gets that hot out. It's just, it needs to rain. And it actually helps. It cools it down as well. So that helps out.
Kind of breaks that humidity a little bit sometimes, doesn't it? Nice. And where was it you stayed? So you did just say
we stayed at a villa in Highlands Reserve, which was the Reflections Villa. Again, that's on primetimevillas.com. So if you want to check that out. We actually, on our travel day vlog, we actually videoed that as well. So we've done like a tour of it. So that's out there as well.
Awesome. Which of the parks did you do? Did you do all of them? The whole lot?
No, we didn't do SeaWorld, and but we was going to do SeaWorld but the thing is with us, we haven't fallen out of love with SeaWorld, but we I suppose a little bit of love's falling out with SeaWorld, not loads, we still love it, but we just kind of, if we got that ticket, we're not really too keen on, I suppose, Aquatica's not our place to go water park.
Yeah.
Buy that ticket of like just Busch Gardens, so we kind of thought to ourselves, no, let's just go back to, you know,
I think because we've got annual passes for Universal as well, so we've had those, and then for the May trip we actually decided to buy Charlie an annual pass for Disney as well to sort of save on the parking. So we managed to get 2 trips out of that, so May and August. So we'd already got Disney and Universal already planned, and I think just adding SeaWorld
more,
like it's just too much. It's too much, I think, like to do it all.
Other stuff, didn't we? So it wouldn't have been fit.
We actually, like for the trip that we just did, like my brother's actually lived out there now, so he lives in Jacksonville. So we headed up to there to see them. We went to Daytona. We stopped off at Buc-ee's as well, which was a really good experience. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a great time there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was
really
so
good.
good.
Yeah, fantastic. And I suppose, was there any kind of stuff outside of the parks? You said you went to Daytona. Is there any other kind of like day trips that you did to maybe like other outside of the park activities?
Yeah, so we do, like, I love obviously going to, everyone loves this place, like Celebration. It's not like an activity, but it's just a nice area to go.
Field day out, yeah.
We love like Winter Park as well, but I love going to like the Winter Park boat tour. Definitely check that out if you've not been on there. It's like it's in Winter Park, and this boat ride, scenic boat tour, and you go around these, but I think it's about 3 lakes. You go through canoes as well, and you see like these houses that are worth probably 10 to 30 million, I reckon. Like, you know, they tell you stories about some of them as well, which is definitely worth doing.
There's a house that they actually show you that they actually cut in half, and they moved it across the lake. There's actually a YouTube video on it as well, how they done it. It's amazing.
It is crazy.
They literally cut it in half, moved the other half, glued it back together, and it's where it's in its new location.
The person who bought it wanted it on that plot or something. Like,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they were like, I want in my house. I don't want anything else.
We love like going to like the beaches, like the coast, different, because in Florida there's just so many different like beaches there. Like it's amazing. So we try and go to different ones. Different coasts and stuff like that.
I definitely think, to be fair, the beaches is like kind of untapped potential, I think, for a lot of people.
Yes.
I mean, like, I know. Obviously, I say this a lot because I'm Orlando Adventures, but like, there's so much outside of the parks that people I don't think have ever even seen or like even know is there.
No,
this is the thing. They just see like, it's like a tunnel vision. It's like they just see like Orlando, like Disney, Universal, that kind of thing, and don't really actually understand of how much stuff is around you. It's just crazy.
Amazing. Yeah. Were there any like specific highlights from your previous trip then?
I think we completed the 6-part challenge. So
nice.
In May we actually done the 4-part Disney challenge. But in August we went one better and we done the 6-part challenge. So we done all Disney parks, and we done Universal and Islands Adventure.
Wicked.
So that included doing one ride, minimum of one ride, one snack, one photo
in each park.
Yes.
It wasn't actually too bad, if I'm honest. Because I tell you what, I felt worse when you go in a park for like 10 hours. Like, because like you're going in the park, you're only doing like, say you're in there like an hour, maybe an hour, you're leaving, you're in the car again, driving to another park. So it wasn't as bad as
we done it. We felt better doing the 6-part challenge than we did doing the 4-part challenge. I know that probably doesn't sound correct, but when we done the 4-part challenge, we didn't really drive to the different parks. So we got on the sort of Skyliner, we got on the monorail, and there's a lot of walking involved with all those sort of things. And then we also planned it a bit differently when we done the 4-part one, because we had a reservation at Magic Kingdom at like 5 o'clock, which meant that was our last park.
We had to stay there.
But we started off at Animal Kingdom at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then we got to Magic Kingdom at 5, and the fireworks weren't until 4 hours later. So we wanted to stay there to watch those. So it was a very long day.
Where we kind of broke it up a lot more this time. We went out and had a meal at the Cheesecake Factory. The Cheesecake Factory. Then went back to Magic Kingdom. So it wasn't
as bad.
Kind of managed to break the day up a little bit without it being just flat out and staying in parks. Yeah, nice, awesome. I'm assuming you got that recorded. That's gonna be a video.
We had a lot of eating that day, and we just done lots, didn't we, that day? Yeah, it was fun. It was really good. And probably our highlights. Probably like, obviously we met a lot of people in Orlando this time, which was amazing because a lot of Brits were out there at the same time. So that was really fun. And also like visiting like places like Daytona and St. Augustine was absolutely beautiful. I loved it there.
Yeah, we didn't spend enough time there, did we? Really, like Daytona, we only sort of stopped off.
This is the thing, you don't have enough time.
No,
like when you want to visit these beaches and stuff, you don't have enough time to stay there as long as you like want to.
No,
you feel like you're always in a rush.
You're always against the clock, sort of thing, because it's a holiday. You've kind of you're against the clock. You need to sort of
everything.
Well, you're trying to cram stuff in, aren't you?
That's
you
it.
You don't want to miss out on doing something, so you do like bits of everything, opposed to like just. But there you go. But as you will know better than anyone, that's just another excuse to go back again, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's it. That's what we like. We always tell people, like when we're doing Instagram lives or people send us messages. Oh, it's my first time. Like, any tips? And I always say to them, don't try and do too much. Because you'll end up not enjoying it. You've got to just have a list of what you want to do, and if you can't do stuff, then don't feel disappointed that you haven't, sort of thing, because you're going to go back 9 times out of 10. You're going to go back. You're going to get the bug that everyone gets, and you'll always be back.
Yeah,
amazing. Have you? I suppose we've kind of touched on it, but you haven't got a next trip kind of lined up. Then you've got.
No, we've actually cancelled it.
Well, no, we haven't cancelled it yet.
Okay.
We've got the beach club booked for next August. So we booked that when the dining plan was released, but we're looking at cancelling that because we have decided that sort of our next route is to look at moving out to Florida. So that's the goal. We've done so many holidays there, as we've said, and it's just somewhere where we're happy.
It's come to a point where like we obviously love going on holiday there, and I'd be there every month if I could, but I feel like we've always known, we've said this for so many years before we even started YouTube, like years before, we'd always be like, oh, I wish we could like live in Florida one day. But then as we kept going there more, we just feel like we just don't belong here. Like, it's really strange. Like, we just love the way of living out there, and I feel like what's tipped us over the edge even more is obviously since your brother's moved over there, like just seeing how his life is, and obviously every life's not perfect and every situation is different, but just like the way of living, and we're just like, no, if we don't do this now or try to do this now, it will might not ever happen again.
No, that's it,
so we're just gonna take that risk.
Nice. Oh, absolutely. I mean, obviously we'll all be here on the journey, so if you do it, like, everyone will be following. I'm sure everyone will be absolutely buzzing for you. So like, fingers crossed for you. Hopefully see what happens.
We have actually said though as well that if we do move out there, depending when we move out there, if it's before June next year, our annual passes are still present for Universal, so we'll definitely go to those. But we have actually said that if we move out there, or I don't like to say when we move out there, we're not going to do parks for the first period. We want to go and explore Florida. Like, as we said earlier, there's so much in Florida that you don't know about, that probably people don't know about either. So we want to go and experience those, to see Florida in its whole sort of thing, right?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah, exciting times. I suppose kind of heading back to the parks for a minute. Then we got my fun little segment called Keep Updating Close, and I gave you 3 options. I gave you like 3 completely different ones, really, and I picked them from various parks. So the options I gave you were the Mummy, Big Thunder Mountain, and Slinky Dog Dash. So which ones would you keep updating close?
So I'll go first. So for me, for keeping, I will keep Big Thunder Mountain. For updating, I will update Slinky Dog Dash.
Nice.
For Mummy, I would close.
Oh, okay. You've gone for close on the Mummy. Nice.
It's based on obviously me. So like, obviously I'm like not a child, if that makes sense. So like what I'm basing on is for myself. So I've done the Mummy to update. Yeah, the Mummy. I've said to keep Big Thunder Mountain. And I've said to close Slinky Dog Dash.
Nice.
The reason I said Slinky Dog Dash to close, not because I don't love the ride, I do love it, but I'm just thinking of in terms of like what I like the most. I love the Mummy and Big Thunder Mountain more because they're more thrilling, right? Like Slinky Dog Dash is not as thrilling for an adult.
Interesting. Like you both gone kind of opposite a little bit. I like that. Nice, fair enough. Obviously, Charlie, you've gone for update the Mummy. What would you potentially do to it if you like?
Oh, I don't know. I feel
Just
like
to put you on the spot.
yeah, I feel like the coast is still great. Like, that's a great part of it. I feel maybe just to update inside a bit more, like just maybe change the inside areas a bit more, maybe, because obviously the track great. I know it's not the longest of
I think the longest, not
maybe
longest,
make it a bit longer, but then they probably wouldn't be able to. I feel like maybe updating indoors must be able to do a bit more, better technical stuff. I think maybe updating rooms.
But I mean, Perry's shutting it down. He closed it.
Down.
Yeah,
Exactly like that, right?
No, I'm just not really a fan of it, to be honest. Just
Fair.
give me that wow factor.
No, which is fair. Like ultimately, like if it doesn't do a lot for you, then it's just a fairly easy decision, isn't it?
That's it.
Nice. Yeah, fair enough. And your update was
Slinky
Dog. Yeah. What potentially do you think you might be able to do to that?
I just think it's more of a kiddie thrill ride, right? So it's kind of like maybe taking it to the next level, just to get a bit quicker, maybe a bit higher, a bit taller, sort of thing. Like Teddy absolutely loves that ride, by the way.
Yeah, loves that ride.
We captured some
that's
vlog
it's
footage.
great for his age range, right? Like for that 4, 5, 6-year-olds kind of thing. But then once they get older, then they're going to want to go to say like Space Mountain. Rides.
I think for Slinky Dogs. Yeah, Paige, she's not a fan of waiting 60 minutes for it.
She's like, this ride is so underrated now. She says. I'm like, yeah, because you're older. Teddy loves this one. You've got to line up for it.
No, that's it.
Oh, fantastic. No, so it's some interesting choices. It's always a good conversation. It's always interesting to see kind of where everyone goes on the update of the clothes. Like, because I mean, like we all perceive rides differently as well, which is which is always what makes Orlando so exciting as well, and like the different parks. And I suppose like leads me on to my 5 main questions. My main one. What is your favourite ride? Who's kicking us off?
I'll go first then. So my favourite ride is probably I've got 2. But if I have to pick one, I'm going to say Cosmic Rewind. Guardians of the Galaxy is my favourite. But then I did have written down Hagrid's. But with Hagrid's, it's one of them rides where for me, I just feel like I can never get on it. Like it's always like a really long wait. And obviously where people can't go on it, you have to do the child swap. You have to line up with him, which is fine. But it's always a long wait. So I feel like it's just one of them rides that's always in the distance there. Like we don't really ride it loads. So I'm going to,
So yours. For me, my favourite ride, I'll probably say Hagrid's. The very first time we went on that was a couple of years ago, and we'd never watched a video on it, so I'd never seen it, never sort of looked at it. And I went on it, and I was just shocked at how fast it was, what was involved in it. And then this trip, we actually done it in the dark as well, which was the first time, and that was scary. Like you couldn't see where you was going, you didn't know where the turns were or anything, and it was crazy. It kind of made my head wobble a bit, and I'm not really a good person with wobbly rides.
What I mean. He hates Guardians of the Galaxy.
I don't like Guardians. I can't do that. Too spinny.
It's interesting you said about in the dark, because I say it's a lot, but that it levels that ride up.
100%.
Like to be fair, because I never even thought about it, but like when you go around and then that bit where the lights go out.
Yes.
Oh, honestly, like it got me. I was like, this is so cool. Absolutely brilliant. But I mean, I suppose going to Cosmic Rewind, like Charlie, what a shout. I love it.
I love that ride.
Amazing.
It's so smooth. Like you just put your hands. I think on that ride you have to put your hands up, right? Like everyone, if you don't got
it's a party, isn't it? Literally is, isn't it?
Everyone, like if you're sitting there and you don't have your hands up, you need to put them up, because everyone has them up and you just look the odd one out. Everyone has their hands up on that. It's so smooth. That's what I love about it. It's just
the smoothness of that ride is probably one of the smoothest rides there. But I don't get on well with teacups, and that just reminds me of like teacups of spinning and fast. But the smoothness of that ride.
Because you've got the screen, and not that you move in the screen, or the screen doesn't move with you, but it has like shooting like fireballs and stuff. So like you feel like you're moving a little bit. So that's why it makes you feel a bit dizzy, doesn't it?
It does,
yeah, nice. And I suppose going from favourite ride to favourite park, then what's your favourite parks?
I think for mine it'll probably be Epcot. Even though there's not a lot of sort of big rides to do there, it's just more about the park itself, like having the world showcase to walk around and sort of see the different food stalls and drinks and all anything with food. That's it. But just that, I just love the sort of setting of that park for me. Like it has soaring. It's got the new Moana Journey of the Water as well now, which is brilliant. So I would say Epcot.
Nice. Charlie?
So I'll probably say Epcot as well, because I love like around the world. Yeah, I absolutely love that area. I just love, like you, tasting all the different foods and just enjoying, like just walking around there. Really, I just love it. But this trip, I did really like Hollywood Studios, and I think I know why. It's because like Paige said this earlier, because we was asking Paige the same question, and she actually said she's always said Epcot is her favourite park. But even on this trip, she was like, "Oh, I feel like Hollywood Studios was," and I feel like because as a family, we just could go on all the big rides there, really. So like it was we just loved going to Hollywood Studios this year, didn't we? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But my favourite park is Epcot overall, but we love Hollywood Studios a lot more this year.
Yeah, that's cool though. Like it's a good point. Like what you said, we've been able to kind of go on a lot of the rides together.
Yeah,
because that experience of going on rides as a family, as couples, like and as groups, is always so different. And like it's brilliant. At least then you got kind of the memories to look back on. It's always like when something funny happens, and it's always like a memory of the holiday that kind of sticks, kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, because when you go to like, don't get me wrong, we love like Universal Lions Venture and all the parks, but like when you start to go on these big rides with like the kids, that it just makes it better. Rather than there's someone waiting off all the time, it's like, no, let's all go on like Slinky Dog, let's all go on Tower of Terror, and it was like really good fun.
Good shout. And what would be your hidden gem? So a hidden gem in one of the theme parks.
I would probably say the Moana Journey of the Water walkthrough. I think that's really good. I think how they've created that, designed it is brilliant. We've done it both in the day and night time. I think the night time is better for the lighting and all that sort of stuff, but I really enjoy that. I think that's really good.
It's so what a great addition to the park, because to be fair, like when they first announced it, I was a bit like, well, what is this, like what is it, like, and then when you go in there, it's brilliant. Like what a great way to spend like 15-20 minutes just chilled, walking around, have a little look. I mean it's fun.
Yeah, we love it. It's really good at night as well.
Yeah, night time's really good. Really like it.
Nice. Yeah, good shout.
I'll probably say, I love, like, Teddy loves animals, so this is kind of like a little bit of a hidden gem, really, because like if you don't go on the Nemo ride, so if you just walk past it and think, oh, let's not go on the Nemo ride, I feel like the Sea Base Centre, when it, behind, is it like next?
Once you come off the ride,
once you come off Nemo, it's definitely a hidden gem for sure, because it's full of like obviously massive stingrays, mantas, dolphins, hammerhead sharks. So like if your kids love animals and you don't want to go on the Nemo ride, definitely go through the Nemo shop into that Sea Base Centre for sure. Yeah, so the animals there, it's great.
Yeah, good shout. It's massive as well, isn't it? It's a big old area in there.
Yes, and there's so much, and there's a good like interactive things to do in there as well. So like it's definitely worth going in there if even if you don't want to go on Nemo, it's like a big aquarium in there. It's massive. It's really
great shout. And I suppose going from kind of hidden gem to most overrated, this is the one that ends up being controversial.
I know, go on, this is going to be a controversial one. Go on.
I'll go. So for me, it's probably Slinky Dog.
Okay.
Again, just because of like the queue times for that ride, like what it can be. Yeah, it's not the longest ride.
It's because of the height of it for children. But us as parents, we're like, let's go to Slinky Dog, because I think you only have to be 89 centimeters. Could get on that to go on that ride, which is not, which is basically like a 3.5-year-old. So like if you think you're going to Florida and your 3.5-year-old can go on that, you're like, right, let's get to that ride.
Yeah, I just think it needs to be a bit longer, and just I just don't like waiting sort of 60 minutes for that ride. So.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you kind of the bang for your buck in terms of waiting to like the reward of the ride, if you know what I mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. Not there. Yeah, I understand. And it's all, like you said, it's always busy. And to be fair, that's the case in Disney with a few of their rides due to like the height restrictions. Being obviously maybe not there, or being quite low, that they make them very busy as a result.
That is so true.
Yeah. So Slinky for Perry. Yourself, Charlie?
Okay, so my one is going to be, for sure, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train.
Okay, nice.
Okay, the reason why this one, again, it's probably basically similar to Perry's. One, I feel like this is probably, it's too short of a ride for sure. It's like, if you've been obviously Slinky Dog, you'll know it's like maybe 20, honestly, it's about maybe 20-30 second ride. It's really short. Again, the queue is always so long. Again, for the reason of being that it's only like an 87-89 centimetre ride. So like as a family, if your kid can go on that, you want to get them on that ride because it's a big roller coaster, like for them. So definitely that's like an underrated one for me. We don't really go on it that much. We only go on it if it was ever like a miraculously like a, I don't know, 40-minute, 50-minute wait. But if it's always over, it's usually always over 60 minutes, like, or 120 minutes. But I do think that one's definitely underrated because, don't get me wrong, I love going inside, seeing all the Seven Dwarfs. No, that one is too.
Yeah, I don't know if now that they're obviously getting rid of the Tron virtual queue, right? If that might actually help the wait times for Seven Dwarfs, because I think a lot of people just run straight to Seven Dwarfs when they get into the park now, like at the moment, right?
Yeah.
But now that Tron's open, you've got two big thrill seeker rides that people enjoy.
People in Seven Dwarfs, like I feel like with the younger children,
more families,
like family. Whereas like when you have a family, but you've got that little bit sort of taller child, I feel like they'll be going to Tron now.
Yeah.
So we're seeing the queue times.
It might help it, I think.
Yeah, definitely disperse the crowds a little bit more. I think that's probably going to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, because ultimately, if you wanted to go on a coaster or like a more thrill ride, and you're basically like, I've got my virtual queue kind of lined up, I'm basically going to go to the next best option.
That's it.
So hopefully it does disperse that a bit. It'll be interesting. And kind of on to my final question to round up the podcast then. What is your best thing to do outside of the parks? This would be interesting because obviously you've probably done quite a lot.
I think from my side, it'll probably be the scenic boat tour at Winter Park, which we've mentioned earlier. I just think it's a really good thing to do outside of the park. Anyone can do it. If you do have young kids, then they do have to wear a life jacket as well. So just be prepared for that. That's the Florida laws. But it's just such a cool thing to do. Just go into the different lakes, looking at the houses, sort of
it was really nice.
Listening to the history of sort of Winter Park. I really enjoyed that. So for me, that would be probably one of the best things to do. And it's not a bad price. I think it's $12, is it?
I can't remember. I think for all four of us, it come to maybe $45-50 for all four.
Yeah.
It had gone up because we did do it in like
December. We did it.
Yeah, we have done it 2 times, and the second time we noticed the prices had gone up by like $5 each. I think it was. But it's still like a good value excursion.
Yeah, I mean, sounds cheap compared to some of the other activities in Orlando for sure. So like definitely a good value for money.
And then I think my one's probably definitely going to different coastlines to explore. Like we went to Clearwater, which I loved. That side of the Pacific Ocean was great. But then I loved Daytona as well. It was just great. You can drive your car on the beach. Like they had like 3,000 space, just literally rock up, drive your car, park up. They've got bins everywhere for you to just pull your rubbish in it, and it was just like amazing. I love the beaches out there.
And we actually saw someone catch a shark as well.
And when I mean a shark, it was like
it was a big shark.
You had this on your story.
Yes.
I remember seeing it, thinking like, I swear that's a shark, isn't it?
The thing was, like, he pulled it in so he could take a picture of it. But like 100 yards, 200 yards out, there's people like still in the water. And you've just pulled in a shark.
It wasn't a great white shark, obviously, but it was like a smaller version of a great white
shark.
It was like massive. And he couldn't even he was trying to pull it back into the sea, but all the waves kept pushing it back on the shore.
Yeah.
We did meet him after. I called him the shark catcher. We saw him at the cleaning station where you clean your feet and that. And he said it was the biggest shark he's ever caught.
Yeah.
He said, didn't he?
Crazy.
So, but I love the beaches, and also shopping.
Yeah.
I love shopping.
Can't beat it.
You've got to add shopping in there when you're in America. Compared to the prices here, it's just ridiculous. So shopping for sure.
Yeah, love finding a bargain. If you
my god,
have a day of finding bargains. It's a good day, isn't it?
I love a bargain. Perry hates shopping.
Leave me in the villa. I think this time, when one of the times they went shopping, me and Teddy went to Typhoon Lagoon, so we went and had a swim.
I don't know why we've done that before though. All these years we've been going, and we've always had to drag Teddy and Perry. They absolutely hate it. They'll be outside moaning. It's awful. So I'm so glad.
Divide and conquer on those days. I mean, it's probably the better option. Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. Well, that wraps up the questions. So that is everything. So obviously, thank you so much for taking the time out, like I said, of your afternoon to have a chat with me.
No worries.
So this was the episode with Perry and Charlie from the Hamilton family. I loved recording this episode. 2 absolutely fabulous people. So please do go and check out Primetime Villas to check out their website that they've got all of their wonderful villas that they're advertising on there from in Orlando and Florida. And please do go and check out their Instagram and their YouTube as well. They are a wonderful family. They really are. They're putting out fabulous content. And I seriously hope that they manage to get their move to Florida sorted. That will be amazing. And I'm sure we'll all be there on the journey watching along. And everyone will have their fingers crossed as well. Once again, thank you all so much for listening. I hope you've all enjoyed this episode. And I will speak to you all in the next one.